Congratulations! You've unlocked Grateful for the Dead. This is our companion show about how much Bob Weir recently passed away, and I feel like it affected us on a granular level. Joe, would you say so?
I said it was like a family member dying in a way,
Hmm.
like the people don't know this, but that's what we're here to talk about is that our parents were deadheads and we grew up listening to the Dead. I think I the Monkey and the Engineer was like, kids music to me like when we were growing up, right? Like
Yeah.
that might as well have been Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in our house like when we were kids.
Yes.
So,
I remember they bought us T-shirts that said, one of us said "Trouble Ahead" and the other one said "Trouble Behind"
right.
from Casey
Yeah.
Jones.
Yeah.
So that's just how we grew up. We were 3 years old. I remember running home and shitting my pants because that's how little
In
I
that
was.
T-shirt
Yeah.
while
I
wearing
was
that shirt.
running behind you and it said "Trouble Behind" and then I shit my pants.
That sounds accurate.
We have decided to go from the start autobiographically with
Mm.
the first concert that we ever saw, the first concert we ever attended and
Well,
ever
do you
experienced the Dead live, which was in Rochester, New York at Silver Stadium in 1987, is what we're
well,
starting this series with.
so I talked to mom about this because in my Andy and I always like bragged a little bit about this, about how young we were when we went to this show. And in my head, I always thought I was like 6 or 7 years old when we did this. And if we go back and look at the history and the timeline of when this was, we were 11. But I was like, I was asking mom, I was just like, "Do you remember, like, the first concert, like, that we even went to if it wasn't this?" And she's like, "No, you couldn't take kids to concerts back then, like because of
It was
cigarette smoking."
considered child abuse.
Yeah, yeah, you would be giving a kid instant lung cancer if you took them to a concert way back then.
That makes a lot more sense. I feel like we've romanticized this experience over the years and said, "Pff, we were 5 years old when we saw The Dead the first time,"
Mhm.
and that's not true.
Right,
Apparently, we were 11, and
right.
that's still young, but I do remember walking from you know how it is with concerts and tailgating. You park,
Mhm.
some, dildo is charging hippies at the time $10 to park in his front yard, and then you're walking 3 blocks through all of the pregame stuff where they have all of the tents and the bootleg merchandise and the cream cheese pita, falafels and all these hippie foods that you never even heard of, and you get to the venue, and I remember dad had backstage passes for this show. Do you remember that?
I not really. I don't remember. I do know that. I've heard, like, obviously the stories about it, but I didn't remember at the
Because
time. Like,
our
that's not part of
the
my memories of this experience
if you are looking at the stage, we were mostly hanging out off to the left where
in front
the
of
band would
Phil.
walk off stage to backstage so that when they were done with the first set, then I remember dad went backstage and got to like whatever, you slap the talent on the ass as they walk off stage kind of experience watching them walk through, and you could go back and use the private restrooms and just be backstage, and they he got to have that experience. And for anybody listening to this, our dad's not with us anymore, but he was the world's biggest deadhead. We have so many CDs that we're going to be able to feature on this show going forward because of him. And hey, we're only doing this show because of him, really.
Yeah, for the most part. So this is Silver Stadium in Rochester. At the time, it was called Silver. So now it's Frontier Field. But so the whole show is on the field, and wide, just wide open. It wasn't like packed the way. The only thing that I can equate it to most recently was when we saw Ween at the Omegang Brewery and how vast
Mhm.
that property was, where it was just like, even if you were gathered in front of the stage, there was tons of room around you. And I remember, you know, twirly, hairy legged girls and
Oh, yeah.
frisbees and cut off jean shorts and things like that, but not being like these people are like all over me or anything like that. I remember it being like kind of like a wide open space.
Well, that's interesting that you say that because I believe that you're correct, but that's only because we were electing to be in a section that was like that
For sure.
because there was a version that I experienced with mom at 11 years old where we were like, let's go see how close we can get. So
Okay.
we started pressing into the middle and seeing how close we could get. And we got pretty close. But what I remember saying, and this is a person that's never had the sensory experience of experiencing this, I was like, what is that smell?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you say that out loud to your mom, the punchline is obviously
What is that smell?
It smells like Otto's jacket.
that's
Yeah.
fucking weed.
Yeah.
That's not what it was. What it
Mm.
was overwhelming BO.
BO.
It smells so fucking bad.
Mhm.
All these hippies pressed together trying to get as close to Jerry as they can. It's a it's an EMP of your senses. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh, I just want all of my senses to shut down because it's overwhelmingly horrific because nobody's showered in however many days.
'Cause this
But
is, 87, by the way.
right.
Like, you don't people don't I
Axe
think when
body
you
spray had
think
not been invented at this point.
but people don't I think if you watch The Goldbergs and things like that, like or, Freaks and Geeks, they reference the Grateful Dead in those shows, like, in the '80s. The Dead, it was their 2nd decade, right? I mean, they were, like, end of the '60s,
It
or, like,
kind of
coming
like going into the third, this is like
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
like late 60s and into
The early
early
'70s is
80s.
where they really kind of came on.
Yeah.
So, the '80s was like the
Oh,
golden
that's a good
era or whatever,
That's a
like
good point to make because at this point they are touring behind the release. I think this particular performance is 4 days before
In the
In the
Dark.
Dark
Mm,
drops.
mm,
So they're playing songs that are not even released to the public yet. This is the second song on our new album, and it is Hell in a Bucket off of In the Dark, which most people know In the Dark for Touch of Grey, which
yeah,
is a controversial song, I guess.
yeah,
I'm
it
gonna go
is.
on record as saying I enjoy it as a child who liked the marionette skeletons. I think it's a good song, but it's not the quintessential Dead, which is people's argument with this album. It's like
It's like Metallica's Black
that's
Album.
exactly what I was gonna say, and that's
Yeah,
why we're perfect for hosting this show together because we
yeah,
all have all the same points of reference for
yeah,
this music. But yeah, this is the Black Album of the Dead, and it's not like they don't go into something classic right after this at this show. They do, and we'll get to that. But they kick it off with this is the best way to kick off a show, by the way. Um, as a musician, this is something that took a while for me to learn, and I don't think I've ever even successfully done it yet. But when it's the first song at a show where people are just waiting for the show to start, why not start with something that nobody's ever heard of? They'll only be glad that the show is starting.
yeah, yeah,
So why not play a fucking original? Why not play something brand new? Why not just get that over with? Because people will just be like, I don't know what this is. I'm just glad the show's starting, and then go into fucking a banger.
mhm,
So this is a good way to kick off a set, is what I'm
yeah,
trying to say.
wow,
But
yeah. Well, the other reason that, I wanted to cover this, especially I think at this time, is the they it was always like the vibes, right? Like positivity and positive vibes. But the storytelling and the lore behind this is like steeped in such criminality or deviant behavior or counterculture. A lot of the Americana songwriting is cowboys and criminals and card games and robberies and things like that. That's all like deep in this music.
Oh,
And
that's the
then
best part. I love
right. And
something like Bob Dylan's Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts. That's basically a movie and a song. It's like
yeah.
one of my favorite Dylan songs because it tells you a bedtime story about a bank robbery and a three-way.
Yeah. Yeah. But all like wrapped, in a warm hug of peace and love and positivity, and that the government the government is the bad guy, and loving your neighbor is the
I know.
victory,
Whatever happened to vilifying politicians? Why
yeah.
was everybody on fucking Team Democrat and Team Republican now? You should not be on any of those teams.
Yeah,
That's the way I was raised anyway, but
right,
I want to
that's
watch
not
a
even a
fucking
team.
guy scale a Japanese skyscraper while listening to Tool. That's my
Mhm.
religion.
Yeah. But the idea that you can, and this is one of the other reasons that Andy and I decided to kind of pivot this way, is Andy and I didn't necessarily rebel against our parents' music so much as like found a new path as like getting into punk rock and things like that, because the that mentality is still holds true, like rejecting the establishment and trying to have fun. So those things are true of this music and that music, and yeah, this is just more true to our nature, I would say, like
Yeah.
this topic.
Mhm. And most of the good things good opinions I have about music come from my father's taste in music. And
Hmm.
anything that's good about my behavior and my mood and the way that I come off to people is from my mother.
Yeah.
So uh this is going to be very centric to uh what informed me as a musician and why I wanted to learn how to play an instrument,
Hmm.
and a lot of those things are going to come up while we cover this. But like I said, this is going to be the first song from the Silver Stadium performance in Rochester, New York in 1987, July 2nd. This is them opening the show with the song Hell in a Bucket, which is track 2 off of the 1987 album In the Dark. So let's check this out.
A bunch of white people that can't find the beat.
Yeah, that's a good point. And just gut reaction, like sensory reaction to hearing Hell in a Bucket. Like, what do you think about this incarnation of the Dead in the 80s, the late 80s, Joe?
um like this was at 11 at this point in time. Andy and I had heard it all a million times, and so hearing this at this
Ma-
point, I was just like, what? Like, we didn't know it. It is, you're hearing a new song at a show. I was just like, just play fucking truckin', you know?
yeah, yeah. Play play Dire Wolf, asshole. Yeah. This sounds like Eric Clapton playing Pretending. To like that version of Clapton, which I
Uh-huh.
also love, by the way.
Yeah.
I really don't mind this, but it's like this doesn't say the Grateful Dead to me when I hear it, especially this track in particular. But
Yeah, this is
I'm
the
being I'm
new
nitpicking
sound,
now. Like
man.
if
Yeah.
you're pressing play on this video thinking that I'm gonna show up and just be like, oh my god, everything the Dead ever did is amazing. That's not gonna happen. This is
Yeah.
gonna be candid and reactionary because there's a lot I don't know. There's a lot that I love, and there's a lot I'll go to bat for and say nice things about. But there's a lot of things that I'll change my mind about or just straight up shit on. So
Yeah.
be ready for that.
Yeah.
And this is just like uh, Reagan's dead at this point.
I was drinking last night with a biker, and I showed him a picture of you. I said, pal, I'll get to know her, you'll like her. Same line
I like that
as
little
I could do.
That line's awesome. Yeah. The opening line of this song. I was drinking last night with a biker and I showed him a picture of you.
Yeah.
That could go in any number of ways, but
Yeah.
uh good writing. They definitely have like writing partners, Robert Hunter. But having said that, like the vibe of the music and how it's very like 80s driven Reagan era,
Yeah.
that lyric kicking off this song,
Mhm.
that sells me on it. I'm already
Yeah.
in.
Cause when he's talking his shopper, up and down, you carpet at home. You don't think me by contrast, quite proper. Never mind how I stumble and fall. No, never mind how I stumble and fall. You better be sipping, jerking, or tasting, elegant.
It's iconic Jerry too, right? Like this is the, you know,
Hmm.
the silhouette that everyone knows
Oh yeah.
of Jerry.
This is the
It's not
iconic.
this one.
Yeah. This is I'm doing my best at kicking heroin, Jerry. He's
Yeah,
plump. He's
right.
he's very like Santa Claus-esque
Yeah.
and semi sober. What I was gonna say is keep an eye on the syncopation of Mickey and Bill, just
Mm.
watching them simultaneously nail it. So
Yeah.
that like that's kind of one of the other things about it. It's like why do they need two drummers? They really don't.
Yeah.
But they've always had them and they've always been killing it and always iconic. I hate saying iconic because I sound like a TikTok bitch,
Yeah.
but it really is at this point. Like anybody that knows anything just knows
Well, name
that
another
Dead.
band. Name another band that has 2 drummers.
Yeah.
There's
But
not
also
many.
like why? Why?
Yeah.
But they always have and they've always killed it and they're the only two left.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
props.
Somehow, baby, got hard as it gets. With a back and a cold box suspenders. The chair.
I just want to pause it to remark that Jerry's solo there.
Yeah.
That a lot of people are influenced by Jerry Garcia, and that one was kind of emblematic of I didn't know what I was gonna do till I did it. Kind of riffing. Because a lot of solos are planned out. Like
Rewind a little bit.
if you're not a musician, you might not really pay attention to this kind of thing, and
Yeah, I
you
didn't.
would think that it's all written, right? Like
Mhm.
it's like it's directions. I'm going to go here, then I'm going to go there. But Frank Zappa famously pointed this out, and a lot of it is just vibe and feel, and there's rules and best practices, but in the moment it's just like, well, I could go here, I could go there.
Yeah.
And if you listen, a lot of times people fail at it because of that, but
Right.
you can just kind of hear him making it up in the moment
And this is
And
what everybody loves about the band. Like
yeah,
if you're
no,
like a
no two solos are going to be the same
right,
because of that.
you
Yeah,
are getting that's why people follow them or were following them because you would get a different show every night. Because if you're whatever, if you're a fan of a band, I was seeing Chris Stapleton twice a year, back to back years or things like that, you get the same show, and I love Chris Stapleton or whatever, but you're going to get the same show, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah. So let's check this out one more time.
So now, baby, got hard as it gets. With a black and a cold box suspenders, her chair and her wig and her pants. Will we know you're the reincarnation of the ravenous cat of the grave? And we know how you love your ovation. You see red, see she create. Yeah, see red, see she create. Well, that is it. Come in, we're tasty and elegant pride. Go on to hell of a new man. But at least I'm enjoying the ride. At least I'm enjoying the ride. Well, at least I'm enjoying the ride. You ain't lost me. Take me to spots when you laugh. I stumble and fall. When you come a day, I will dance on your grave. In the name of
They fucked up there. Did you hear that? They
that they fucked it up right there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were lost for like the band was not together there,
Yeah.
which they but the best part, did you realize that?
Yeah. I mean, it just only happened for like a moment
Okay,
there.
well, I mean, you're shitting on my point, which is that if you just keep going and everybody gets back on the same page, your casual listener probably will not realize that you fucked up. And that's the
Yeah.
magic of jam bands. Like
Yeah.
a lot of times they'll get like way off page and not be playing together,
Mhm.
but people that aren't musicians don't know that. And all it's the dirty secret of playing music is as long as you start and finish together,
Yeah.
everything that happens in between,
Yeah.
people don't really give a fuck as long as it's not atonal and offending your ears.
It's
If people,
exploratory jazz. You have
yeah,
to listen to the notes he's not playing. I can do
yeah,
that at home.
right, yeah. All you have to do is finish the song and go, "I meant to do that."
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they fucked up there. They were not together.
dance, I'm going cross. Baby, dance on the floor. Hey, baby, dance on the floor. You must really consider the circus, 'cause it just might be your kind of zoo. I can think of other places more perfect, more persons as perfect as you.
It sounds really I know we like kind of shit on this song like right at the beginning as far
Yeah,
as that's but I do like this song. There are
no, I do, dude. The album is
essentially
only 7 songs long. I went and looked at
yeah. Oh really?
the Wikipedia or whatever about it.
Yeah.
Almost all of I remember. I'm just like, I like this album. There's so many. I think there's one on there where I vaguely remember that it's okay, and most on there, especially we'll get to it. West LA Fadeaway
That's a good
for
song.
that West LA Fadeaway is the Eric Clapton Pretending to me. People don't think that Pretending is a good Eric Clapton song. It's like 80s fucking cornball shit. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to stand here and say that it's not a good song. And to me, West LA Fadeaway is the Pretending of the Grateful Dead. So.
Mm,
But
okay.
another thing while I'm watching this, I'm hearing the drums do like they're getting a little more exploratory during the solo, and Jerry's killing it. And so much of this podcast series is going to be me coming to terms with Bob Weir, having just lost Bob Weir, and me trying as a fucking straight man. I was like, I know he's a young guy, and all the ladies loved him, and that was his value added to the band. But oftentimes I'm just like, just get him out of here. Like if he wasn't in the band at all, I wouldn't give a fuck. Just let Jerry
No,
sing and play
no way.
everything.
I mean, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I don't feel that way at all, especially his
I
hotness.
don't either. I know there are Bob Weir songs that I like, but
Yeah.
by and large, when it's a Bob song, I stop paying
I mean,
attention.
estimated profit. Like,
I know there's exceptions to the rule, but
yeah,
uh I just maybe this is too hot for the first episode, but it's the way I feel right now, and I'm
sure.
gonna change my mind. But uh let's finish this up.
It's not like I'm thinking lonely, 'cause I wouldn't know where to begin. But I know that you think of me only. My snakes come marching in. Hey, marching in. Well, that listen, turning we're tasting coming by. Maybe going down about it. Maybe he's gonna join the ride. He's gonna join the ride. Ride, ride, ride. He's gonna join the ride. Ride, ride, ride. He's gonna join the ride.
That was necessary.
Yeah, I know. I didn't do that, people. That was production value for no reason at all right at the end there. Oh, a little tease for what's coming up next.
Oh,
Everybody
my
recognizes
favorite.
that fucking lick.
Man.
Ah,
Yeah, I could
I
name
didn't think
that
we'd have
song in.
I didn't think we'd have this much to say where I thought maybe we would start going into more of the set, but I think we had too much table to set with
Mm,
our why we're doing this to get to multiple songs. But in the future, I feel like I want everybody that's listening to this to tell us what I really want to know everybody's thoughts. I want you to know about what I think. I said some controversial things about some very wrong-headed things about the Dead when it comes to live jams and Bob Weir. So please tell us in the comments what you think about that, but also tell us what performances you remember that we should maybe review, any album like studio tracks that you want us to talk about. I really want to know all of that stuff. So don't be shy about chiming in on the conversation. But Joe, what were your thoughts on this performance of Helena Bucket?
um, I I thought it was good. You know, obviously they're come in, they haven't played it a million times, right? First of all,
Right.
because it
This
hasn't
is
even been,
fresh.
yeah. So I feel like they're excited to be playing something they haven't played a million times. And, right away we said, new song, whatever. But, it is from our, like, when it comes to our experience with the Dead, I I shit on it a little bit. I'm like, it's not my favorite stuff, but they got halfway in and that little da-da-da-da, that pause part. I'm like, "Oh, I love that. I love that part." There's
Mhm.
just parts of it that I do like really enjoy. And I would even say like they flubbed a little bit in there, right? I was also sitting back here going, oh, they haven't even like gotten in the groove yet. Like they haven't even locked
Right.
in yet.
They're not even tripping, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know. Like uh,
We're gonna have to do a stream where we're just fucking high out of our minds listening to some of this.
yeah, sure it'll
That's the way to
happen at
listen
some
to it,
point.
right?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Yeah.
the way most people podcast nowadays anyway?
Well, I really hope people kind of pop in and comment, and like you said, like tell us your favorite show, and or if you were at the Silver Stadium show in '87 or whatever it was, like
Yeah.
tell us what all the things we fucking didn't understand.
Yeah.
But
Hey, I was at that show. I saw two little dildos running around being annoying. It's
one
the
shit
only
his
thing I
pants.
remember. But
hmm
in the meantime, I want to thank everybody if you made it this far into the episode for checking this out. And for Joe's six pack, I'm Trucker Andy saying
Stay grateful.
yes.